Hey, everybody. Welcome to Sip Fearlessly. Woo, woo. Yes. Shout out to our sponsors, okay, in the building. Shout out to Bel Air. Cheers. Today is 420.
Yes.
And it is also Earth Day.
Earth Day. Mm-hmm.
So make sure y'all smoking the best Earth green that you can get today, okay? I definitely wanted to make sure I tapped into my, Texas side, you know what I mean? My Beyonce side. So fuck with my cowboy hat today because I was feeling it, so I'm wearing it, okay?
And the boots, too.
It's
And my
cute.
boots,
It's
very
cute.
thank you. I was feeling it. I was like, okay, she's looking cute. I like it. I like that style. Plus, I love Houston, so shout out to Houston. All right, so this is Sip Fearlessly. If y'all don't know already, y'all should know. I'm your girl, Sue Fearless.
And I'm Gigi.
And she's Gigi. And we're so excited to be here today. If y'all don't know, we have done a revamp. We're Sip Fearlessly now. And, SIP could stand for amazing things that we're sipping right now. But it also stands for Sisters in Power. And G and I are sisters. We have a great story. We just met 3 years ago. And we're just building our platform and building together. So it's very exciting to share our story and then also bring in some amazing guests to share their journey.
Yes.
Okay? So that's what we're doing here today. So we have none other than Grind Season
Vague.
in the building.
Is this the first episode?
No.
Oh,
it's
I thought this was the revamp of the first. All right, good. I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm
it's
sorry.
kind of,
That's what it sounded
we
like.
revamped for
New
February.
season. This is our
new
Yeah,
season.
so it's been
Yes.
a few months.
New
Yes.
season. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Hey, thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. And shout out to O for the plug. We really appreciate it. Thank you for, coming through last minute and supporting us. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Definitely, we looked into you, we tapped in. So you are somebody that we actually look up to. You've done a lot of things in your respective industry. So we cannot wait to dive in and talk about everything.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I had a free day anyway because I don't smoke weed, so
Oh, there you go.
I have shit to do anyway.
Well, the weather's supposed to be nice for the rest of the day, so at least you can enjoy that.
Nah, that sounds like a lot of money being spent.
Right.
Rather stay
Every time
home.
you step outside,
Every
it's like
time. It's like
$100, $200, $300.
Stay home and just open the windows and enjoy the.
Right.
Right.
And if you have a backyard, stay in your backyard.
That is true. That is true.
Yep.
I don't know. It's inevitable, y'all. I can't even say that because
What's up with these candles? I'm sorry. What's up with those are your sponsors too, the
Well,
candles?
thank you. Yes, that is a sponsor. Those are my candles, and
Those
I
are
am
yours?
sponsoring it. Yes. So
Nice.
thank you
I
for
love
bringing light to
candles.
that.
I
Yes.
love candles.
Yes.
They smell good.
Yes,
I'm
thank
taking
you.
one.
So,
No, I'm just playing.
we'll talk a little bit more about that. But yes,
Okay.
these are my candles. Definitely, y'all pick up a candle. They smell really, really good. I try to change it up for every season. So we still have some of our Valentine's candles left over and some of our fall season candles. So we're coming with summer soon, all right? So thank you for that. Appreciate
No
it.
doubt.
So Brooklyn and Bronx native.
Yep.
So they never told you to choose a side? You never had to choose a side?
All the time. All the time.
So what was your choice?
The Bronx.
Oh, okay. He's not
I'm
here
gonna tell
to
you
witness
why.
that.
No, I'm gonna tell you why. Because I moved from Brooklyn so young. I moved from Brooklyn. I was like 15. So but I always went back to Brooklyn because my family's out there. But I became a man in the Bronx. That's why I did everything in the Bronx. My first job, Bronx. Everything was the Bronx to me. So.
Yeah.
But I still rep BK though. Like my roots are still over there.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. Well, I'm actually from the Bronx by default. I was born in the Bronx, but I grew up in Washington Heights.
Okay.
And then I ended up moving back in the Bronx. But I fuck with the Bronx. I support the Bronx. There's
I
a
love
lot
the
of
Bronx.
Yeah, there's a lot of dope shit happening. The Matrix was originated in the Bronx, so shout out to the Matrix Studios. We done had some amazing studios in the Bronx.
Yeah.
Okay. Representing some amazing Bronx artists as well. So, that's what's up.
Shout out
Thank
to
you.
DWI.
Word. Shout out to DWI. All right. So, we read up on a little bit about you, and
Okay.
we, definitely appreciate the fact that you were raised with both your parents.
Yes.
Yep.
Which is, unfortunately not something that's seen.
And my
so much.
stepdad too.
And
Big
your
support
stepdad,
system.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So I appreciate that. So tell us a little bit about your upbringing and, how that influenced you.
It was I'm gonna get through this fast. It was regular. My mother worked. Dad was a super. I did all the bad shit that kids do. Stole. I fought. I got arrested. I did dumb shit. Just finding myself and doing a bunch of dumb shit. I had a pretty good upbringing. Like all the shit I did is because I wanted to do it. It's not like I had parents on drugs and shit, and I was just like, you know,
You was being
learning.
a spoiled brat.
Yeah, I was just learning. My mom's was at work, my pops was at work, so I had free time. So I was just, you know, with my friends and just doing dumb teenager stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I had a pretty good upbringing. Like I can't really complain about it.
Okay, okay.
Good.
So when's the moment that you started to think about music and started getting invested in music?
Music. I used to be really shy to rap. Like I used to write raps when I was like 14, but I would never rap them for nobody. Until I moved to the Bronx. So once I moved to the Bronx, it's like I created a whole new person. Nobody knew me. So that's when I started rapping for motherfuckers in the Bronx, and they was like, oh. And then I took it. I do radio. I'll interview myself. I'm a personality. I could, because it's one answer leads right into the whole story, and I'll just keep going and going. But
don't worry, I got this.
yeah.
I'll keep you on track.
So I started rapping, and then, you know, I landed in Big Pun's house when I was 17.
Yes,
My rest in peace.
legend.
My man Kenny was his barber. So he called me. I rapped for Pun. I was 17. He was gonna sign me to his record label, Foundation Records. Then he passed away. I didn't have no connection with Fat Joe, so it was just like that was a dead end for me,
right.
and I just had to do other shit. Next question.
I can't. All right, G, we gotta be on our toes right now.
Did I skip a part? I didn't skip a part.
No,
right?
you didn't skip
okay.
anything.
I'm trying
All
to
right.
keep. I'm trying to keep.
No,
the
I
pace.
just wanted to
Okay.
know what got you inspired and into the music business and rapping, because I know you did get signed to Columbia Records
Yep.
in
Right.
2001.
When I was-
So
yep.
tell us about that experience and tell us a little bit about the music industry.
It was a horrible experience signing
Okay.
at Columbia.
Yeah.
I signed. Well, I was supposed to. What happened was, I was with Wyclef. Like, you know, I was in the studio with Wyclef, like, you know, helping him pen shit and all that.
Okay.
And I was supposed to sign a deal through his label to Columbia, but then that whole shit happened in Haiti, and there was an earthquake, and he left us there. And you know, we was looking forward to that money. We was gonna get a lot of money for this deal that he was getting for us. It was for me and you know John Forte. You ever heard of John Forte?
Sounds familiar.
He's from Jersey, light skin. He had dreads, but he ended up getting locked up with liquid ecstasy in Newark Airport. He did a bid in the feds or whatever. But like I said, Clef was getting that deal for us, for me and John Forte. They was gonna give him a label deal, but he was already signed to Columbia.
Okay.
Long story short, he went to Haiti and was dealing with that, and you know, pretty much we had no contact with him. You know, he was over there doing shit. He got shot over there and everything in his hand. So, you know, the record label's full of snakes. Full of snakes. Columbia reached out to my manager at the time and was like, yo, we still want to sign Vague, knowing that my deal was supposed to go through Clef, but they knew he was gone. So they gave me like a little $70,000, and I took it. But I had to pay this production deal I was in. This dude, once he knew I was getting a check, he wanted $25,000 just to let me out the deal to sign to Columbia. So I had to give him $25,000. I didn't even have the money to pay the lawyer to do the deal. So what the lawyer did was he charged me an extra $5,000.
Okay.
It was
Wow.
$3,000 for him to do the
That's
contract.
crazy.
He charged me $8,000. He said, well, since you're not paying me now, I want an extra $5,000 or I won't do it for you. So I was just signing everybody like, all right,
Everybody
here.
check. Wow.
So that shit messed me up.
Right.
And, you know, my manager had to take his percentage and then taxes. And I was fucking left with probably like $35,000. You know, I bought some Avorexes, went to Miami, bought some drugs, sold it, and that was pretty much it. Like, I was sitting on the bench. And then Bow Wow got released from So Def, and Columbia kept him as the parent company.
Yeah.
So at the time, the dude that signed me, the A&R, we was cool, we had a relationship, and he was like, yo, listen, pretty much they're going to bench you because it's going to cost them more money to invest in you than to Bow Wow.
Right.
And I understood. I was like, you know, it's not going to be, they're going to release me. He said, yeah, and you could keep the money. I said, oh, tax write-off.
Right.
So they released me, and then you got another part, or I keep going.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I have
Yeah,
a
I'm
part to that.
interested.
Well, how did that impact you personally once they released you?
Yeah.
How did that impact you personally and going forward with music?
In the beginning, I was cool with it because I thought about it like how shit is, or like if Jay-Z goes on the radio and says, "Yo, I need this podcast Sip Fearlessly on Tidal." Apple's gonna hit you. Everybody's gonna hit you up. So I was young. I'm thinking like, all right, I was on Columbia. Once the labels find out that I'm free, they're gonna be trying to sign me.
up.
No one was trying to sign me. They was not signing no Puerto Rican rappers. It was over for that. So Tommy Mottola, he was you know Tommy Mottola, right?
Yeah.
He runs Sony and
Yeah.
Columbia. It's the same shit. So Tommy Mottola, offered me a situation. He had his own independent imprint called Casablanca. So he offered me, a deal through that, but it was no paperwork. He just had me in the studio just writing songs and writing songs. He was giving me like allowance, but it just wasn't enough for me. Like I'm
Right.
like, this is not gonna do nothing for me.
Right.
So I just told him that I just didn't want to be here no more, whatever. And he was like, "You're free to go. We don't have no
Right.
ties. We didn't sign no paperwork
So let me ask you a question. Do you think anything has changed
with the music
as far
industry."
as yeah?
Yeah, now it's okay to be independent. Independent
Okay.
is the new major now. And like back then I was trying to be independent. And if you didn't have a record deal, it was like you was pretty much a nobody.
Right.
So when I was trying to be independent, it wasn't cool. And now being independent is cool
It's
now.
cool, right.
I was always ahead of the game.
It's cool, but
Try.
it's still a lot of work because when
Right.
you're independent, you gotta invest your own reresources, money, and all of that. into
Back
your
then though,
projects.
if you had a buzz, you could press up CDs,
Right.
sell them shits $5. You spend $90 to press up 100. Sell them for $5, you make 500. Get more, sell them, go to different. You know what I mean? It was
Right.
different, and it wasn't 1,000 rappers.
Right.
Like they knew me. They knew like
Right.
rappers like they knew P. They knew Fred the Godson. Like we could have went out there and sold CDs. It wasn't like a million motherfuckers trying to sell CDs.
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah, things have changed. Well, fast forward, you got into the radio business.
DWI.
Hey, okay.
That's where it starts.
In 2008, and I know you worked with DJ Bedtime, who's also
I
a
was
home team.
that was the first person to let me talk on his microphone and go crazy. Bedtime let me
Word.
hate money radio.
Right.
And
So
then
what made you get into the radio industry? Like, what did you feel like you still wanted to use your voice in a certain element?
DWI just asked me, like, you just pretty much was like, yo, why you don't do radio? Because I was like on Chuck Platinum show, I was on Bedtime, and then the genius right there, he said, why you want to do a show? This is how it works, blah, blah, blah. And I said, yeah.
Right.
And pretty much, right, D, that's, I had some, in a nutshell, like, he just said it,
Right.
like, you don't want to do your own shit? And Grind Season Radio.
Okay. Okay.
There was
Well,
like no long
yeah.
answer for that.
No, and shout out to The Matrix. That's to show there's so many greats that have passed through The Matrix.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, definitely. And then you went on to be, so we digging deep because we're telling a
Okay,
story,
let's go.
right?
Let's go. I'm here.
So then you went on to be Remy Ma's tour DJ.
No, that was Bedtime. Bedtime
That
was
was Bedtime.
Bedtime was
Oh,
Remy Ma's
okay.
tour DJ.
Okay, all right. So when you got into radio, what was your next step after that? Is that after that you got into the battle rap?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so when I started doing radio, I knew all the rappers. I was always at the Matrix. So I was always just there meeting people, and I knew everybody. So Smack, I was working with this artist named Cortez. Shout to Cortez. And he introduced me, he brought me into battle rap.
Okay.
So I started meeting people, and with my connects, Smack and URL, they started their new league, Ultimate Rap League, and they wanted new guys. So my guy Norbs, he was one of their scouts.
Okay.
He was like, yo, do a tournament and get me some new guys, because you know everybody and you're always in the streets. So I was like, okay, I could do this. I don't know nothing about battle rap, but I know rappers that.
Right.
So fast forward, I did a tournament in the Bronx, in like a white tea spot. Like I knew this African dude. I was like, yo, I want to do battle rap. Everybody's going to be safe.
That's so Bronx, the white tea spot.
Yeah. I knew the African dude, my man Mike, and he was like, yeah. So I did it. I'm from 183rd to Katona. That's like projects right there. Then my block is like Vietnam.
Right.
Then you got Twin Parks right there. Then you got down the block on 187, and it's wild over there. So
Yeah.
pretty much I did that shit for like 6 weekends straight. No fights. Nobody broke anything. Everybody that had beef with each other was in there with each other, just like, yo, he doing this shit for the hood. And
Right.
it got so big that smacking them was like, yo, just keep the situation, make it a situation and keep going. And I'm like, I don't know about this shit. He's like, this how you do it. One, two, you know what I mean? Told me how to do it. And then I made King of the Ring. That's how I got into the battle rap.
Hey.
So I was doing radio and battle rap now.
That's fire.
Right.
That's fire. Well, it gets crazy in battle rap, okay?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I've watched some of them. It gets real crazy. So, like, what are your thoughts behind how crazy it gets in battle rap and how, like, cutthroat and deep it gets?
I mean,
Because they disrespect you, your mama, your girlfriend, your children.
At first, when I used to go to battle events with Cortez and they would say shit about like him and his son and all that, I was like, I would be ready to like,
That's
fuck
what
is
I'm
he talking
saying.
about? I didn't understand it. He had to explain it to me. He's like, yo, bro, this shit is entertainment. Watch this. After the battle, everybody's cool and all that shit. I was the only one mad. Literally, I was the only
Didn't
one.
get it yet.
Right.
I was the only one mad after that shit. Like, nah, he said that shit about your son, bro. Like, it's crazy.
Right.
He was like, nah, it's
Fucking
battle rap. I was like, okay. And then I learned, like, oh, this shit is fake. These motherfuckers is fake. You a punk. It was just like, it was all
Yeah,
a
because I would
stage
think,
show.
like, you would lose a little integrity if you ain't, because
Nah.
that's disrespectful.
Right.
And they stand there with a straight face. Now, it's just entertainment now. I just want
Right.
to see who's going to say the most disrespectful shit
Right, right.
now. I'm here for that.
Well, so let me ask you, how do you feel about the battle that's going on right now with Drake, Kendrick, J. Cole? How you feel about that?
I love that shit, man. Like, it's
Word.
hip hop, like rap. And you know what's the crazy shit? They say that, Drake doesn't write his own raps. No one cares.
Right.
Right.
No one gives a fuck. They're like, you don't write your raps. He's like, I don't care. I'm still killing y'all.
Right.
And nobody gives a
Right.
fuck. You know what I mean? But I think it's dope for hip hop.
Definitely.
And as long as nobody gets
Definitely.
hurt, you know what I'm saying?
That's
Keep
what
this
I
shit
said.
rap.
Yes.
And I don't know about what J. Cole did. That was a little weird. Like, talking about that he got off his frequency and all this. Like, bro, you allowed this shit to really impact you like that? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
this is just rap, bro.
Right.
Right.
But I feel like that's the type of human that he is, though.
He is.
So
he
I'm
is.
not surprised. I feel
He is.
like he felt like he had to say something, and then he felt like, damn,
Right.
they're gonna come at me now.
I didn't understand his stance with that. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I
Yeah.
didn't know where that was coming from. Like, you've been in the industry, you know this is entertainment.
Right.
I don't like Kendrick made the song. If he would have saw you at the airport, he's not gonna fight you. That's why he did all that shit. It was I respect him for that because it takes a man to do something like that.
Right.
But I was confused. Like, it's
Yeah.
entertainment, and he's
Yeah.
saying sorry and no.
Yeah. Well, these are some of like my favorite lyrical
Kendrick?
rappers. Yeah. So I'm enjoying it. And like you said, like I feel like the culture needed it as long as it doesn't get messy and dangerous and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. I
But-
want to hear what they have to say. It's been a while.
All those guys, they're not violent guys. So
Nah,
it's
they
not like
not.
it's 50
They not.
Cent beefing with somebody or
Right.
something like that, where somebody could get smacked or something like
Right.
that.
Well,
It's-
we don't want
it's
us to
Drake.
get violent.
It's Drake. Kendrick is like 5'2", and who else? J. Cole, they bowed out. Rick Ross is an entertainer.
Listen.
All those other guys
Right.
aren't battling. Yeah.
They even got Chris Brown battling right now.
Shout to Breezy. Yeah, he dissing Quavo, right?
Yeah.
Well, I bet it's over a girl, I bet you, right?
I mean, listen, he said
Always
Quavo
over a
got
girl.
bodied by an R&B dude, so it's on.
I know they beefing over a girl for sure.
Yeah, of
So
course.
since we in the frequency
Yes.
of King of the Ring to Queen of the Ring, what do you see the difference in energy between the battle rap when it came to the males and the females?
So King of the Ring first was the big event that we started doing. Like I said, I started that league. And a lot of girls used to come to my event. You know what I'm saying? Just girls used to they didn't even know about battle rap. They just wanted to be seen. And then a lot of female rappers started coming. So, it's like, you watch boxing, you feel like you could box.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So these girls were just rappers, and they wanted to battle the guys. They like, oh, I want to battle him. And we were like, you're just a rapper. They're like, I want to battle him. So I came up with the idea, you know, there was enough girls, and I was like, yo, let's do Queen of the Ring. Let's do something small. We see how it goes, and then, you know, we figure it out from there. So at the time, I don't know if y'all know Miss Hustle. Miss Hustle, she's like one of the biggest female battle rappers.
Okay.
Miss Hustle was like the number one. She still is, but that time she was the only one that was like the top. So we had a close relationship with her. So what we did was we made her lie on a blog. We said, yo, listen, this is what you're going to say. Say whoever does good in Queen of the Ring gets to battle you. You know, that's family. So she did it. She said, any of you bitches that do good, you could battle me, even though that was not going to happen. But that brought all the girls out. So we did that in another white tea spot. It was packed.
Nice.
So then we just did an event. We did an event with the King of the Ring just to test the waters, and more females came out. And guys, we were like, okay, now we got to separate them. So then the next event we did Queen of the Ring, that shit was packed. We was like, oh, we got something here, and nobody has this. We got an all-female battle rap league. Everything was male. So we started the first and the biggest all-female rap league. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it gets messy, as we can see.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Does it
this
get
is-
messier in a battle rap with the females
With the
and the males?
females, right?
Yeah, hell yeah, because they'll talk about like your baby daddy, where he works. Like the guys are more into the bars and more into the craft of it. The girls, they're gonna talk about who fucked your man, and your man was in my DM, and they'll pull screenshot papers out, and they get crazy. Like,
Speaking of which, how do you feel about the whole situation that happened with Remy Ma and her battle rap boo?
Ooh.
what was the question? How do I what?
How do you feel about it?
I don't feel no way about
You
it.
don't feel no way about it?
Shouts to Remy.
What if that happened to you and you were put in that situation? Would you shoot your shot?
With
Would
Remy?
you go for it? I don't have to be with Remy. It could be with somebody else.
No.
No. Okay. Because you keep
But
the business.
he's you know, he has everything to gain. So that's why he
Right.
he shot his shot. You know what I'm saying? He's new. He's on a come up. Like, this is all new to him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, this isn't new to me. It's like, I'm not impressed. Remy's family to me. Like, I see
Right.
Remy. I just spoke to her yesterday. It's like, yeah, you know what I mean? I'm not really impressed by that shit. I'm impressed by money. Like, knowing celebrities and all that shit is not, that shit don't move me. Like, are we getting paid out of this? Like,
Right.
You
Let's
know,
keep it business.
yeah.
I hear that. I'm all about that too. I hear that. So let's talk about podcasting, right? There's
I'm asking for a friend podcast.
yes.
Vaguely and Mel.
So I know you have your own podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk a little bit about your podcast and how you feel about the oversaturation of podcasts right now.
It's oversaturated in certain type of podcasts, like the podcast. See, y'all in the oversaturated podcast because y'all interview people. We don't interview nobody on our podcast.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I come do this podcast, then I go do that podcast, then I go do that podcast, and it's like the same thing going over and over. But you got it first. You got the interview first.
Well, thank you.
So yeah, I don't do a lot of podcasts though. I don't really. It depends. Like but it is oversaturated. You know what I'm saying? But everybody's not good, so I don't care. Like,
Right.
what they do is not gonna stop me, because I know our podcast is great. It's funny. It's original. It's just us. You know what I'm saying? Like, originally I wanted to bring guests on the show, but then I had spoke to Joe Budden out real quick, briefly at one of Remy's events, and I was asking him for advice on the podcast, and he told me, he said, "Listen, they know you for battle rap. You're huge in battle rap." He said, "Don't bring no battle rappers on your podcast." He said, "Don't have any hosts that are battle rappers." He said, "Build your own crew and you'll build generational wealth." He said, "You know why?" He said, "Because just be consistent. Like, they the Kardashians. So in the beginning, nobody knew them. Now we go places and they know them. They take pictures with them and all that. And now they get bookings and all that type of stuff. See, we just stood firm and we kept it us. And now we get bookings and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? That's what he said. He said, you build your own team, y'all get your own money. He said, if you start bringing, he said, because you know big names. He said, so if you bring big names, it's going to overshadow you and them.
Right.
He said, so just keep it y'all. He said, keep it consistent. We drop an episode every single week. We only missed 1 week when my brother Harry passed away, rest in peace. That was my assistant and my brother. But we never missed a week. What
Right.
episode we on? 57 now? 57 weeks straight.
That's what's up. That's
Like,
what's
we
up.
was filming the day after Christmas, the day after New Year's. Like, we was not letting up.
Right. So the content of your conversations are basically based on what? Like what's currently happening?
You know, anything.
Okay.
Like, one podcast, we could be talking about J. Cole, and the next podcast, we could be talking about how her day went, how my day went. And it's just funny because this shit be real shit.
Right.
It be real shit. So we just, and the people, like, the shit we talk about, they could relate to.
Right.
Like, I had a fucking boot on my car. We had a boot together the same day. We both came out. We both came out the house to 2 boots on our cars. I swear, am I lying? We both came out the house, and she had a boot and I had a boot. And it's just some shit you can't make up.
Yeah.
And we spoke about it on the podcast.
Yeah.
Because we want to let people know, like, bro, real shit happens to us too.
Right.
Like, I work in the movie industry, right? And they went on strike. And I wasn't working. I owed my landlord a month for rent. I said that shit on the podcast. But we were like, shh, don't talk too loud. I don't want the landlord to come knocking looking for the rent. See, shit like that.
Right. I get it.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's just, you know, we just being ourselves. That's
Yeah,
it, pretty
absolutely,
much. But we'll talk
absolutely.
about the gossip and just
Yeah.
give our opinion on
Yeah.
it.
Right. But I think also before we started, we were talking about the negative feedback that comes with it too. I think that's a part of it because you're giving your opinions on different things and just sharing things that are happening to you personally, and that opens it up for opinion.
I mean,
So
we're
talk
humans.
a little bit about that,
We're
though.
all humans. We all have an
Right.
opinion. Whether we say, like, I don't judge nobody, we all judge.
do. Facts.
Like, I judge my kids. I judge myself. We all, you know, people say, like, I don't judge nobody. Yes, you do.
We all
'Cause-
sinners. We
Yeah, so,
I mean,
but
I wouldn't say we all judge everybody. I think we all fuck with what we fuck with and don't fuck with what we don't fuck with. It doesn't necessarily mean we're making a judgment. We're just like,
No, we're
oh,
judging.
you know,
We're
I'm
judging.
here.
If I see a person
We're judging.
walking down the street naked looking crazy, I'm gonna look at them and be like, they're crazy. So
No,
I'm
but that's
judging.
different. That's different.
Okay.
But I'm saying,
if,
like,
if I see a girl with her hair messed up, I'll say, why she ain't comb her hair? Like, I'm just saying, like, we judge. And they'll probably see me and probably feel the same way. Why his dreads ain't done? Oh, my God, that's vague. Why he's not this?
right.
You know, but I'm mentally free, so I don't care what people say.
Right.
I really don't, I swear. That's why I'm so comfortable when we do the podcast. If you look at my podcast, I'll be in there in shorts, mismatched clothes. I do it on purpose. But, you know, like, we're just being ourselves. I don't care about opinions. Like,
Right.
doesn't move me.
But that's what I'm saying too. I feel like that's how I feel. Like I don't care about opinions. So I feel like it's not a real opinion sometimes. It's just like, okay, I don't like that. It's fine. But I'm not judging the person, to each their own. You know what I mean?
We got our own studio, too, the Purple Room. You didn't see any of our clips, our podcast clips?
I haven't seen them yet.
You gotta check it out.
Yeah.
Check it out. We got our own studio. We have our own everything. Like,
Okay.
we could do what we want. We could say what we want. No, except we just don't talk about Jewish people.
And why is that? The Jews are paying the bills.
Yeah. Yup.
Jews are taking all the money.
Yeah, and then they'll shadow ban your whole career.
That is the truth.
I thought
That
it
is the
was
truth.
America.
Well, no.
The last 2
It's-
episodes, I said like some foul. I was saying some crazy stuff, but it wasn't like disrespectful. It was just like I was just like, fuck this shit. I'm gonna be honest and
Say how you feel.
Right.
yeah, I was just saying how I felt about certain. You want me to say it?
Go ahead.
I was confused. Maybe y'all can help me, right? I was trying to figure out a woman that wants to be a man, right? Right? Taking her hormone pills and everything, right? But she still has a vagina. But her partner is a tranny with a dick. So is she straight or is she gay? Because the tranny's fucking her. But you're gay. Can you help me with that?
Well, I guess they need to come up with a new term term to relate to that because
But it's still
with all the
confusing, though.
new terms we have.
No, listen, I agree. It's confusing. I agree. It is confusing. It is
They were
confusing.
like, "Nah, we shouldn't.
Don't talk about it."
They were like, chill. I'm like, no, we want to know answers. And another thing, calling people they. They is 2 people. I'm not teaching my children that one person is they. Like, y'all trying to fuck these kids' heads up.
Well, there's definitely a lot of opinion behind that by a lot of parents,
Right.
because they're implementing that in a lot of schools right now too,
Right.
where they're doing like the co-ed bathrooms.
No,
for-
hell no. I don't want no
Yeah.
little boy in the bath. If I have a daughter, I don't want a little boy in there
Right,
with her. Because
yeah.
boys are little horny creatures.
Yeah.
I don't want them in the bathroom if I have a daughter. If I have an 8-year-old daughter, you know what I'm saying? That's fucking insane.
I also feel like when you're young, you're still trying to figure out your identity. So you may feel a certain way at some age, you may think differently at another age. So that is a touchy subject, because for the parents who have those children who identify as they want their child to be respected, but then, you know, for other parents who feel like you and, you
No,
know,
they
you have a daughter and stuff like that, it's tricky. It's tricky.
They're confusing people.
But to each his own. I respect and I'm, you know, whatever it is
Yeah.
that anybody wants to do, you
Yes.
just cannot push that on people.
Right.
You cannot push
I'm with you, Gigi.
that on people. Like
Yeah.
I come from a Catholic background. My morals, my values are very different than what society wants to teach my kid today.
Right.
And I'm okay with it. Y'all could do it with y'all kids, but not with mine.
Homeschool them.
Right.
Ooh, well,
Right. And
on
once
that
ACS
note, on
come
that
knocking on that
note,
door, I'm doing what I want.
Right.
Listen.
well, on that
It's
note,
hard.
we can go deep into that conversation, but we
Yeah.
won't do that today.
Right.
See, it's always going to
But-
be a part 2 of my interviews.
Right.
Absolutely. We got through the saturated podcast part of it. Next, we'll tap into the real talk.
Right.
Okay, but this was great though. We definitely
Thank you. I
wanted to
appreciate
know
y'all.
more about you, and you know, we wanted you to share your journey, because you know, even though a lot of people are doing this, it's still important for us to get the background story from everybody, because people want to know. People want to know how we got to the places that we got to, what we had to overcome, and things like that. So thank you.
Congratulations
Thank
to
you
y'all,
Thank
too,
you.
on
Yeah,
the
I
situation. You know what
It's
I'm
like
saying?
you say, how
Yes.
can the sky be the limit when there's space?
Exactly.
Right.
So
Yeah. How can sky be the limit when there's space, right?
that's right.
So don't let that's people trying to put a cap on your shit. But thank
That's
y'all.
a fact.
Thank you
That's a
guys.
fact. So let everybody know where they can follow you, the
Um,
podcast, all that good stuff.
Instagram, Grind Season Vague. I'm asking for a friend _podcast, right, Lee? I'm asking for a friend _podcast. That's it. I put the shit on Instagram, and it goes to TikTok, and it goes everywhere else, Facebook, everything. Same shit.
I
Grind
like the
Season
name
Vague.
because it opens it up to anything.
Exactly.
I'm asking for a friend.
Right.
Well, thank you again. We really
Thank you,
appreciate you
guys.
and appreciate
Thank
your
you.
time. Word. All right, y'all. So this was another episode of Sit Fearlessly, and we'll be back soon. Cheers. Happy 420.